Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is things I've learned with Miracle Sven in 7.19. Right guys, I really want to talk about this because I think Terrorblade is one of the strongest cores right now. In fact, a lot of heroes that Sven counters are super popular right now, and I think Sven is low-key good if you play him well, or if you adapt him a little bit to whatever the meta is right now. And there is this super important thing about cleave that I always want to explain to people, but no one just watches a video about cleave. So I really hope you guys watch this video to the end, because I think the way cleave works pretty much wins the game for Miracle, and it's pretty nice to see. So yeah, PL and Terrorblade are owning pubs, and yet no one is speaking Sven. Well, since Sven doesn't have illusions, he recovers lower than other heroes, since farming madness, now that there's dual lanes and people actually contest your farm, takes time, and you cannot leave the lane at 6 minutes like before, being level 6, and just go crazy. That being said, there is a couple of changes favoring the hero, from a lot of the OP laners being nerfed to Stormhammer being a better skill now. Another small but notable change is the fact that Sven has now 67 base damage with very little variation, making him one of the easiest heroes to last hit dispatch. In this game, Miracle is against a Wind Ranger and a Shaker lane, way different than the Enchantress plus Crystal Maidens that used to haunt the nightmares of safe laners 3 to 4 months ago. While Sven is definitely not super strong right now, he is still a natural counter to the Terrorblade, and even though you still struggle a little bit in lane, it is easier than it was. Since level 1 Stormhammer is way better mana cost-wise than before, you can actually use the skill like he does here to harass enemies, and the lane starts quite well for Miracle. The difference in mana cost shows its impact very fast into the game. As you can see, this is the third time Miracle is going for a stun. In the old patch, he would have 80 mana. In this one, he gets the kill without using his Mango. In fact, thanks to the Mango, he gets a 4th stun off, starting the lane with a double kill. Not only that, he gives himself to the Bane when he's about to die, and perfectly timed after the right click from the Shaker, saving his ally as well. Stick was not a normal item on Sven back in the day, because all you care about was your Treads and Madness, unless you were against a Bristleback or a Batrider. But without tri-lanes, and since you will be pressured constantly against a dual lane, getting the stick is actually pretty good. In fact, without small items, you might just feed constantly in the lane. Different Sven players are going for different answers. Move, for instance, goes Soul Ring, while other players get raindrops that very often are effective versus the magic damage from the offlaners and give you that mana regen that you need to keep on spamming your hammer. Miracle though likes himself some old dirty Aquila. Sven is probably the strength hero that benefits the most from the item, and it's just a great value for a hero that will stay in the lane anyways. Since you're staying in the lane for longer, the cleave is not as important as it once was, so getting a second point in the stun is pretty decent. The level 2 scaling is pretty good, and since you're going for mana regen and the mana cost is lower, you can dominate your lane so that you get your Treads and Madness without being bullied too much. As you can see, even though he got a double kill, he still only has 6 CS this game, and that's why you need the smaller items. You need to be able to fight a little bit and get CS for yourself later. Look how the Shaker presence really stops Miracle from being able to farm. When the Bane gets back to the lane, look how the improved mana cost gets him another kill. After committing the stun and Warcry, he would be already out of mana unless he had another Mango or used the stick. He gets a double kill thanks to having the extra damage from the stun and not the cleave, and also the mana without actually using his stick. Another thing that the reduced mana cost gives you is an easy way to get range CS against range heroes like the Wind Ranger that could punish you a lot if you go for it. Kinda similar to how Spectre actually gets farmed. Because of the smaller items, Miracle can constantly battle the heroes that show up in his lane like you see here. Sven and pretty much no carry right now will get near close to perfect CS like in the old days, and that changes a lot of the dynamics on how heroes used to be played. That is why Sven is kinda out of the meta, but against a hero that Sven counters very hard like the Terrorblade, and when you're against a weak enough laner, this hero can shine like Miracle will show us. Since Miracle learns the level 2 stun, he cannot really jungle until he's level 7 or 8, and because of it, he constantly fared more tangles and clarities to the lane, and it pays off. Dire constantly tries to bully this fan, and the stun, Aquila, and small items keeps making a big difference. He gets his Treads delivered, mid-fight, Tread switches to agility, stuns with intelligence, starting the game with a mega kill. He finally dies, but he is clearly having a great game. Because he's still not level 8, he does go back to the lane, he gets level 8 as he gets the mask, and that is the optimal time to start jungling. Thanks to the extra damage, attack speed, he can jungle without losing pretty much no HP, and that is the optimal time for you to start farming lane in jungle. The reason Terrorblade and PL are so strong right now is that they can jungle without losing any HP or very little HP without having a lot of gold, and that is not the case for Sven and a lot of other heroes. If you can dominate your lane though, you're not really recovering from anything, since he's always full HP while jungling. Even though they constantly look for Miracle in the jungle, not only he survives the rotation, he can get kills back. He clicks Wind Ranger to check the wind run duration and only ults when he can attack. When he has God Strength on, jungling with Agility Threads is better, since he's lifestealing more HP percentage-wise, while also attacking faster, so he's gonna be full HP faster, then he can go back to the Strength Threads. Sven gets online once he has Blink Dagger. Once you have level 2 God Strength, he can 100% kill the Lina from full HP, but Terrorblade is not that case. For instance, this is a reenact of how much damage the Sven can output during his stun duration on a similarly farmed Terrorblade, so not a lot. Miracle and Shadow Fiend were in sync though, and it's important to note how he only uses Madness after the stun. In case the Terrorblade doesn't get bursted down, having the stun is super important. I think the Stormhammer Dispel Talent is kinda underrated, but if you go BKB so early like Miracle is going for, it doesn't make much sense to get it, especially if you don't have the Echo Saber or the Sanjanyasha to slow targets down. So you really want to get that move speed. The BKB is important in this game because the counter initiation from Dire is way too big, and while Sven farms as fast as the Terrorblade, Sven falls way faster than the Dire carry. The way Sven wins games is by farming faster but using that farm to constantly shut down the enemy once God's Strength is up and you have that Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger already allows Miracle to farm very fast, but he can't depend on having vision of everyone else and the Terrorblade by himself when he's hunting him down. You wanna have that BKB because getting into the mid and late game, there's always going to be someone behind a target that you try to jump for. This fight is a great example of what would happen every time Miracle went for an aggressive play. The difference maker here is that he knows the Lina is top. He notices the Shaker Blink Dagger, but Lina is still top. And Miracle keeps waiting for an opening. When he knows Windrun is over, he decides time to go. Most players would only join fights at this point once BKB was done, since he was already super close to it, but knowing he's almost 3k HP when he ults and that Lina was not there, he understands there's not enough damage to take him down. He also gives the Roshan call after getting those kills, since the Echo was just committed, and while Lina tries to slow them down, they even kill her at the end. Miracle just keeps making small little choices that puts him ahead every time. Thanks to the clarity that he fared, instead of going back to the base, he not only finds this arcane rune, but he's nearby watching the Shaker get killed by Tiny. There's absolutely no hero showing, so he feels like Dire will react to this, and he was right. He could be farming towards the damage item or whatever, but he's level 18 and understands the strength of this power spike. He also jumps the strongest core in the Lina instead of the Wind Ranger, ultimately getting a triple kill. Thanks to that BKB, as Miracle pushes the mid tower, Dire has absolutely no counter initiation to stop him from getting cancelled. In fact, even with all that, the Terrorblade survives, sunders Miracle, but he's way too strong at this stage. I also really like the talents for this game, as well as the item decisions. The lifesteal is super important against Sunder, since as Terrorblade gets stronger, he can potentially die against that skill, and the AC not only gives him armor that he severely lacks, since he has about 5 armor when Warcry is over and Madness is on, and the attack speed also synergizes well with the lifesteal, so he can actually survive the Sunder and keep fighting the Terrorblade. There are Svens going for the Blowthorn and the cooldown reduction build, but against a hero that goes for Manta and BKB like Terrorblade, and the fact that you wouldn't have enough lifesteal makes Miracle's path more desirable in this game, at least in my opinion. Sven dies here, Dire goes for a very well coordinated gank setup with the Terrorize, and there was nothing he could do against it, and the game starts getting pretty hard. The Terrorblade grows, and while Miracle was always as farmed as Cancel, Terrorblade just scales way more and he controls the map in an easier way. That being said, I do agree with Miracle's choices this game. Daedalus, when you get the strength level 25 talent, is definitely a better idea, especially against Terrorblade where you just want as much burst damage as possible in a very short period of time. Miracle though kept trying to get smart kills, and this is one of them. He sees the Lina in the high ground here and a bunch of Dire heroes in the other area, giving him the idea to set up in the trees to see if he can kill someone once the lane pushes back. And he definitely gets it. The problem is that BKB is over and he ends up being killed and the game just slowly starts to slip away. What wins this game for Miracle, though, are three things that I want to talk about. The first one is saving buyback. The second one is how cleave works and the way he uses cleave. Cleave doesn't care about armor, which means that it doesn't matter if you're hitting a 0 armor target or a 100 armor target. Everyone else that is not the main target will take the same damage. Not only that, Sven's cleave got buffed to 70%. Terrorblade at this stage has about 71% physical damage reduction thanks to armor, which means he would only take 30% of the right clicks when he is the main target. But as I said, if he's not, he'll take 70. Check the replay, but before we get there, the third thing that wins Miracle the game is waiting for both his BKB and ult being ready and not panic buybacking. You can see the two allies already bought back, Bane dies, yet he holds for it. When Radiant starts disengaging, Miracle can TP in the tower, and as a hasty player, I can see low-level players or even better players blinking the Terrorblade and attacking him, since the Sunder could win or lose this game. Sven though attacks the Shaker and does not commit the Blink Dagger, knowing full well that this is helping him. In fact, if he jumped the Terrorblade, I'm 100% positive that Sunder would go through and maybe they would just lose this game. Miracle deals 1.2k damage on cancel with the first crit, followed by 500. The third attack deals 210, so you can see how little damage you deal when he's the main target. So if those attacks were directed at cancel, he would take 540 from the first one, 200 from the other one, and extra 200. So instead of dealing 1.9k damage in 3 attacks, he would deal about 900, and this is literally what wins the game. Cancel had no buyback, and that is pretty much GG. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As all of you know, I am on Twitter. You can follow me here for memes and, Dota stuff. I'm always casting and playing on my Twitch stream. In fact, I'm gonna be casting the Minor tomorrow, so drop by if you're interested. And I also have an Instagram and a Discord channel. Make sure to check that out.